I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer.
Here.
Councilman Underwood. Councilman Wilkie.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Councilman Dennis.
Here.
Councilman Venz.
Here.
Councilman Cook.
Here.
Councilman Tenen.
We do have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it
stands under God, indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Tonight's warrants are $548,877.60.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Consent agenda has passed. Remarks of visitors.
We received none.
We're to the bids. Act funding pickup trucks.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. This is Matt Unrein. I'm reaching you this evening remotely. I'd like for you to consider the bids for 3 new 3/4 ton 4x4 pickup trucks to be funded through the CARES Act, the county reimbursement. Greg and I believe that this request was approved or will be approved this evening by Jefferson County. Of course, if it is not, this is a moot point. But in the case that these pickup trucks are approved, it will permit us to separate my crews, make it to where there's only 1 man per vehicle, thus reducing our exposure to the COVID-19 pandemic, while also permitting us to continue the work that we're required to do in the city every day. So again, that's 3 3/4 ton 4x4 pickup trucks. They do have, you may have noticed in this specification that I included, they do have the snow plow attachment on the front that in the future, if we do choose to buy plows for these trucks, we may do so and add them to our snow removal fleet. I'm happy to take any questions.
Matt, I see they got 6.2 EFI V8s. That's not exactly a gas friendly.
No, sir, it's not. But I'll tell you, I actually tried to get 4x2 single cab long bed trucks, and they are more money than these 3/4 4x4s. So I chose to take the cheapest vehicle. This is exactly the same vehicle that the police department requested you approve at last month's meeting for them as well. Again, it's because of the affordability of the truck on the front end. It's
Right.
just a cheaper vehicle.
Right. Yeah, but you can't push snow with a small vehicle. But you went with the gas motor over the diesel mat for a cost?
Yes, sir. It was strictly for cost basis. This was the unit that we get into at the lowest cost. Again, even cheaper than a 4x2 model.
Yeah.
The price seems reasonable.
Yeah. I'll take one for that price.
Hey, Kevin, with the additional stuff you have to do for diesels, it is better to go with gas. We're switching a lot of vehicles that way.
I think you might be right, because just a simple oil change is like 3 times as much. I like the fact that they got plows on it.
As a diesel driver, my truck has been plugged in since about the 1st of December in colder climes. Obviously, diesels, a lot of wear and tear on a diesel truck if you're starting them up below, say, 35 degrees. So if they're not plugged in, so it certainly helps to have a gas burner in that case.
Well, plus you have that DEF and you have to really watch it with that DEF fluid. And that's another expense and another
Right.
problem.
I think it's a good truck. I think it's a good deal.
Is there any other discussion?
I'm for doing it. Look forward to when in the future we don't have these internal combustions and it's going to be simple with batteries and hope for that. So until
I
then, we
agree.
have to
I
do what
agree
we have to do.
wholeheartedly.
Matt, I got a question. Do we really need 3 trucks right now?
Well, Councilman Weiner, the situation is there are 2 vehicles in our fleet that we could immediately replace with these. But again, the point of this purchase is to, let's say, dilute the population in our pickup trucks. We want to get less guys in these trucks so that when they're on their way to job sites to work, they're not cooped up in that little bitty cab together. My folks have been great wearing the masks, and that helps a lot. But
Yes, they
this
have.
is a peace of mind thing. This keeps them safe on their way to job sites. And in the future, when we're beyond this pandemic, yeah, we're going to have some vehicles that we can surplus when we get beyond this. But for right now, these are really kind of a safety device.
Sure. And that was Councilman Tenon, Matt. That wasn't me.
I beg
That
your
wasn't
pardon.
Brian Weiner.
Brian wanted the battery truck.
Hey, Matt, this is Mike Cook. Isn't what the CARES money is for, though? I mean, it's money that's set aside from the federal government to the county. If we don't apply for it, it gets used in other capacities. So,
Or
correct me if
goes
I'm
back.
wrong, this could be something, even though we may not need fully 3, we can use them at some point in time, and the Festus budget doesn't feel it, correct?
Yes, sir. That's affirmative.
Yeah, see, it's a win-win for me. Okay, thank you, sir.
Is there any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid for $91,215 for 3 3/4-ton 4x4 pickup trucks.
Don't move.
Motion's been made
Second?
and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Tenon,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Motion passes. And we can buy the pickup trucks.
Thank you all.
Sale of surplus vehicles and equipment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of City Council, before you have a request from staff to allow for the dispensation or sale of 10 pieces of equipment. Among those are dump trucks, pickup trucks, and other various tools and equipment. I've got a list there for you in your packet. Our ordinances require that the council approve the sale of those items, and so we've got them listed for you. I've elected to use a vendor who's on I believe they're on a competitive state or county bid. They're called Purple Wave. It's an eBay style, highest bid, no reserve auction style bid site. They specialize in heavy equipment, municipal equipment like what we've got. It's really I'd call it a white glove treatment. Staff doesn't have to do anything but assemble the list. They send a representative of their company out to photograph and then write a description of each piece of equipment. They advertise it for us. They collect the money and deposit it in the account that we choose. So it really is very, very easy for us. The most inconvenient for us is allowing the viewing by the company member, and then of course setting the vehicles aside for pickup at a later date. If someone does not pick up the vehicle after a certain amount of time, they will file the paperwork to have the vehicle title changed again, and we'll sell it one more time. So it really is a win-win for the city of Festus, and we hope that this puts a little bit of money, taxpayers' dollars, back in the city coffers for future use.
Hey, Matt, quick question. Is there a fee that comes off our sales price for this?
No, sir. All the fees are paid by the buyer. So if the winning bidder for each item pays a little bit of additional fee. And we don't lose a nickel. Whatever the sale price is, we get 100% of those proceeds.
Matt, this is just your department? The vehicles?
Yes, sir. At this time, I believe that every piece of equipment was originally assigned to either Public Works or Water,
Mhm.
with the exception of perhaps the pontoon boat. That pontoon boat may have been a Parks vehicle. So Mr. Whaley, that may be part of his fleet originally. But I believe everything else was Public Works or Water Department, Water Sewer.
Sounds good, buddy. Thanks.
Any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion to for the sale of surplus vehicles and equipment.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Tonight on the agenda, ordinances and resolutions. We have a resolution number 4615 and a half. Will the clerk please read the resolution?
Resolution number 4615 and a half, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, extending the emergency paid sick leave policy due to the COVID-19 state of emergency declaration.
Resolution number 4615 and a half is now up for discussion. Staff report.
Yes, sir. As many of you know, the CARES Act, as it was originally passed, expired on December 31st of 2020. It is our intent to continue to treat our employees the way we have throughout the pandemic. We would anticipate that the incoming session of Congress would extend the EPSL, but there is this gap between December 31st and when that may happen. This resolution addresses that and obviously clears up any confusion on the part of our employees.
We've heard the staff report. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve resolution number 4615 and a half?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnen,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Resolution 4615 and a half has passed. We have bill number 4615 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4615, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, Chapter 210 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Festus, raising the minimum age for sale and possession of tobacco products from 18 to 21, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and establishing an effective date.
Bill 4615 is now open for discussion. Could I have the staff report, please?
I'll turn that over to Brian Malone, as he's a little more familiar with the changes that the state made.
Sure. Thank you, Greg. So this bill, which my associate Christopher Bedell, who is on the call tonight, worked with me on, this bill relates to a change in federal law that actually occurred at the end of 2019, wherein it was made illegal to sell tobacco to anyone under the age of 21 instead of 18. So we had a request from the police department. There were a few incidents, I think, since then that tobacco has been sold to someone who's over 18 but under 21, and it is now illegal under federal law to sell tobacco to a person under the age of 21. The state has not updated its statutes yet, but we anticipate that will be happening soon. The federal law gives the states a grace period for doing so, but what this does is it gives us the ability to enforce the change in federal law to provide that only people under the age of 21 are able to possess tobacco, and that tobacco can only be sold to people over the age of 21. Excuse me. Right now, the Federal Department of Health and Human Services is enforcing the federal law, and this will allow us to prosecute violations if shops sell to someone who's between the ages of 18 and 21. That's an offense that we can prosecute under our municipal code if this ordinance is passed.
So Brian, where's the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms people? Where do they come in all this? Aren't they the ones that regulate the tobacco and that thing, or?
So the Food and Drug Administration is handling primary enforcement at the federal level. We anticipate state law is going to be changed sometime soon. I can't say that it will happen at this legislative session, but the train is essentially already in motion due to the change in federal law. I don't know if the ATF will be involved moving forward. Right now, it's the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Food and Drug Administration that are enforcing it. The federal law is only really enforceable against the seller, I guess, of the tobacco product or the nicotine product. But nevertheless, the age has been raised to 21 under federal law.
Gotcha.
So if we approve this tonight, is this legal, or still have to wait till the state makes it official?
No, it's state law expressly provides that we can go a little further than the state law in this area. So we have the authority to do this today, and really it's already illegal to sell tobacco or a vapor product to someone under the age of 21. But we would, essentially, if the police were to catch somebody doing this, it could only be prosecuted in federal court as it stands right now. If we pass this ordinance, it's something we can prosecute like we would any other municipal ordinance violation.
Is this also in the county already now or not?
I can't speak to that. I don't know if Jefferson County has done that yet. I know that some municipalities have started doing this. I don't think all have, but some are already moving forward.
Chief, you in the room?
Yes.
What do you think about all this?
I think it's just bringing it in compliance with federal law and how the state's gonna probably go also. I agree.
Gotcha. Sounds good to me.
Is there any other discussion?
And you say that, Brian, if this takes in the vaping products also?
Yes, it applies to tobacco and alternative nicotine products, which encompasses vapor products as well. So the ordinance really, the only change is just kind of striking 18 and putting in 21 in our code book in the pertinent sections.
Good deal.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4615 for the second time in title only?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, the motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4615 for the second time in title only? Excuse me.
Bill number 4615, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending Chapter 210 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Festus, raising the minimum age for sale and possession of tobacco products from 18 to 21, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes. Bill 4615 has passed. We also have Bill number 4616 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4616, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a water shutoff agreement with Rock Creek Public Sewer District, incorporating said agreement as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date.
Bill 4616 is now open for discussion. Staff report.
Certainly, we have several cooperative agreements with water and sewer districts that we are, obviously we cooperate with them. In this particular case, the Rock Creek Public Sewer District provides sewer services to those who are served by our water department. When there is a failure to pay, it's not very easy to shut off a sewer system, but it is very easy to shut off water. We've had this agreement in place for some time now. This just re-ups it for another 2 years.
Greg, is this over there by, is it on Ivy Lane?
Yeah.
Is that where it's at?
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, couple of questions for you. This is Mike. I noticed their disconnect fee is $100. Is that in line with us? And the second question is, are they currently have any type of COVID policy in place? I believe ours has expired, but I didn't know if we were going to renew ours because I'd like for all services for our cities to match.
But Mike, the $100 does not match ours, and they, as far as I know, do not have a COVID policy. But then again, I would not say that I'm intimately familiar with what their policies have been or are. At the same time, I would add that we really don't have any jurisdiction or authority to require them. We can certainly ask that their policies would mirror ours.
Okay. So why the IGA then, if it's an authority issue? Is it just, I guess that's where I'm confused. I apologize. I meant to catch up.
The IGA is there for the purpose of if they have a issue with a customer that has not paid them their sewer charges, the IGA is there so that they can request that we would discontinue water service until that bill was paid in full, much as if we would be able to do with someone who, since our bills are combined, water and sewer, the extreme version of it would be if someone didn't pay their sewer bill, we're going to shut them off. The only way to effectively do that is to discontinue their water service. It is only in very, very rare circumstances I've ever seen where you have these situations where someone receives water but has, say, a septic, or in this case, served by a third party, and they have the ability to go in and shut off the sewer. It's just not a practical application as far as the utility is concerned.
I understand. I guess the only request I would have, if you would please, if we adopt a new COVID policy and they're asking us to turn our water off, I would like for them to follow the same on the sewer, or I would like for us not to turn the water off since it's contrary to our COVID policy. If we would renew or adopt a new one, please.
I think that's a fair request.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4616 for the second time in title only.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4616 for the second time in title only?
Bill number 4616, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a water shutoff agreement with Rock Creek Public Sewer District, incorporating said agreement as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date. Councilman Tenen.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Bill 4616 has passed. New business. Liquor license application for 310, 314 Main Street.
I've received a liquor license application for the building at 310 through 314 Main Street. As normal procedure, I turn that over to Chief Lewis. He is the liquor control agent for the city, and he has some information on that.
We conducted a background check on the two businesses that are owned by this person applying for the application, one in Ferguson and one in St. Louis County. At this time, it's my recommendation that we deny the request for a liquor license. The reason being, we contacted the Ferguson, Missouri Police Department. They advised our investigators they've had officers dispatched to this location over 500 times in the last 5 years, and they're constantly there for calls for service. The second incident, and that's one located on New Halls Ferry in St. Louis. The second one is located on Chambers Road in St. Louis County. We called them, inquired about it. They advised they've been dispatched to this location hundreds of times over the last few years. During the last week alone, they've had officers dispatched to the location 12 times for stolen vehicles, overdoses, and trespassing. My recommendation is to deny it based on this. Plus, that's a part of town we're trying to revitalize, the Main Street area. We don't need a business that attracts problems.
Exactly.
My recommendation is to deny the request.
Good investigation work.
Thank you, Chief.
They did it.
Thank you, Chief. I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor license application for 310 to 314 Main Street. I'll entertain a motion to disapprove the application.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Madam Clerk, could I have a roll call for that, please?
Councilman Boyer,
Yes, disapprove.
Councilman Wilkie,
No.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
This is yes to disapprove, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, okay.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes. The motion passes 5-1 to disapprove the liquor license. Old business.
We have none, sir.
Moving right along. Councilman Tenen.
I have nothing.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Venz.
Yeah, before I left the first time in office, Greg, the Shapiro Drive going to KFC, we talked about putting lights.
Correct.
Now that slowly things are coming, are we going to put the lights up to
Yeah.
make it lighter?
We've been in contact with John Friel over the last several months in relation to some lighting projects, that being one of them. They are extremely behind, but it is on the list of things to do. So yes.
Okay. And also, the lights are nice there at Pound Road and Double A. And you know how everybody can merge on from Pounds, from the bus shed, Pounds to A, south. Yeah, south, I guess, heading to Festus, you know. Is that our part if we wanted to make that nicer? Because it seems like that part merging on just is really bad. I mean, you got potholes, is that the state's problem or is that the city's
That's state
problem?
right away.
And we talked to the state about improving that.
We have.
Okay, good. 'Cause, man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we go to Festus schools all the time and you come through there and it's just,
There were sections of A that were scheduled to be reworked. But most of that was farther to the west. We've asked that they, obviously you come in all the way up to the interchange, but
Yeah.
especially between Collins and Pounds, there's some areas there. I know they're getting ready to do some guardrail work in the area as well. So we're keeping an eye on it and we'll continue to remind them that we'd like to have that at least repaired. We'd like to have it overlaid.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nicer to make it a little wider or something. I mean, it just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like as soon as you merge on, it's really tight. I didn't know if they would improve it a little wider and farther a little back to make it nicer to turn on there. The new Fifth Street where the double sidewalks are at. What's the plans for the road for that? They're going to be one side parking, no parking on that street because with those double sidewalks now going to the school, that's pretty tight through there. That North Fifth, yeah.
You're talking about the new,
The Fifth Street going to the school off of.
okay, the LPA project, sure.
Right. I mean, with those double sidewalks.
The existing width of the road will be maintained. Granted, some of the sidewalk, most of the sidewalk is within right of way, which did encroach upon a lot of people's yards. There certainly are some instances where it did come in a little tighter. But that plan design obviously was something that ran through here 3 years ago originally. So there's no plans, or that's certainly not in the plan to widen the road. You can pretty well already see, they've got most of the curb cut in.
Right, not widen. I mean, just because there's double sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's people that usually park on the street. If they park on both sides, you ain't gonna have much of a go down Fifth Street no more. That's what I mean. Is there plans to take one side away from parking or something? I mean,
To make one side no parking?
Right.
That would be something council could consider at a later date.
Like you said,
There's nothing in the design to do that, though.
Okay, well, I mean, because there's a couple spots, like you said, are going to be really tight, and the way some of these houses they've lost their parking pretty much. It's going to be very tight when you turn off of Cromwell, like Cromwell to North Fifth, right there. Boy, I mean, you got people parked there. Well, it was, and man, they're both parked there now. You're barely going to fit a vehicle through there.
I mean, the project's on schedule and is nearly complete.
Yeah, and it's looking great. I mean, but
So certainly any modifications to accommodate on-street parking, it's too late for that.
Right.
If we wanted to stagger no parking or whatever, that would have to come after the project's completed.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to look at it because there's a couple of spots that, I mean, I feel sorry for emergency police or fire trying to get through there when that time comes. If you got people on both sides parking, if they're having parties like they usually do, it was already bad enough the way it was. I can imagine what it's going to be when it's all said and done. And, but no, it's good to be back for another year. Welcome in everybody for 21. Hopefully it's a hell of a lot better. That's it. No more, sir.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Boyer.
I want to address Chief Lewis on this. I want to compliment the police department. I know it's been a month on this record here, but looks like you guys have been busy. A lot going on here. Look like we're having a rash of these truck thefts and stuff. And but I just wanted to compliment the police department on being on top of this. It looks like they're doing a terrific job by the numbers. So thank you for that. And Greg, I wanted to thank you for setting this up for the water treatment plant for us to take a tour up there. I think that'll be interesting, and I hope all the council guys, most of them want to go. That's just coming Friday, right?
Correct. And if we need to schedule another time, say the week after, so that we stay in you won't have any problems being socially distanced, but we want to make sure we don't have a quorum for that. So we'll have to limit the number that can go. But if we need to schedule it for another date or pick up another date, I just need to know who would be able to. I know Kevin has told me that he's not able to make it this Friday, but anybody else that wants to be there. And if we get over our number of 4, as far as council is concerned, we can certainly set up another date. It's impressive.
Should we tell you now who's going to go?
Well, I know you're going to be there.
Yes.
Yeah. Jim's going to be there. Okay. And Bobby's already been through. I don't know about
Mike. Are you wanting to go?
It's been a long time since I've been through there, but I will go if we don't have a quorum. But if somebody would like to go, I can go next time.
And it would just be Brian or Kyle if they were interested.
Yeah, I'm hanging off, hanging back until things get a little better for me anyway. So I will look at it sometimes, just not in the immediate future.
I've seen it before, and I don't know if I'm able to this Friday or not.
Okay. Sounds like we should be okay then. Numbers wise.
Councilman Cook,
I have nothing to report, sir. Thank you.
thank you very much. Councilman Dennis.
Yeah, I was seeing on Facebook today that the COVID shots are becoming available, and I was, of course, looking for my son. But I was thinking, where does our employees at the city fall into being able to get that shot? Being somewhat essential workers, we have to have water and all that. Our police, fire, I guess they went first round, huh? But I was just wondering, where the rest of our people fell in that operation.
Kevin, I know the mayor has a copy of the press release and was going to share it here later on. Obviously, our first responders, police and fire, they're still awaiting. Our water sewer workers would also be considered in that same group. And then everyone else would fall from there. The state of Missouri has a website set up that is basically tracking the 1A, 1B groups. Right now, the state is still in 1A.
Right, I seen that.
Which is what was part of that press release today. So I did have contact with the health department last week just to make sure that we're on the radar, make sure that they know that we have obviously frontline workers, police, fire, and water sewer that we need to make sure get addressed right away as soon as that becomes available. So they looped us in with about 4 or 5 people as far as their case management to know that we're on the list.
The other question would be, if someone did not want to take the vaccine, where would we stand there? I wouldn't be for making anybody do anything they don't want to do. But I think it's a question we need to consider.
We cannot mandate. It would turn into a large workers' compensation issue if there's any complications. So the intent is to not mandate. We will certainly do our best to make it available to the full employee population, but it's their call.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it too. I wanted to welcome Brian's colleague, Christopher there. Haven't seen him in a while, helping out on that ordinance. But other than that, things are going good. I think everybody's doing a great job. So that's all, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Councilman Weiner.
Yeah, I pretty much voiced Kevin's observation about how well everything is going with the city. I appreciate everyone, Greg, you and Sam, for doing the good job you're doing, keeping things going. All of the employees, I mean, it's been stellar with the way the city's running right now. So yeah, just very thankful for that. I go out quite a bit, like West City Park in that area, and I see the lagoon is no longer, and that's a constant reminder of the city just continuing to progress. Good to see the pontoon boat is going to be a property of the past here soon too. And one more thing that I'd like for us to think about, Greg, when we had that discussion on the Burns Farm out there with a sidewalk going in, I walked quite a few times in that middle school area, and I haven't noticed anything yet. So I don't know if anything is in the works for that, but I know that was one of the prerequisites we had for that subdivision being built, and I haven't seen any sidewalk that is emptying into that middle school area yet.
Yeah, that was part of, and Mark, jump in here if I get the phase wrong. That's either part of phase 2 or 3, which is the phase that's behind the middle school.
Correct. That's I believe phase 2, because it's that middle road that shoots up through there. And normally what Giselle will do is pour the sidewalks when the houses are there. If it's something we need to speed up, I can definitely talk to him about it.
Okay.
But normally the sidewalks go in when the houses go in, which is not too far off as fast as they're moving.
There's a lot of houses going in out there, and it seems like every time I go by, there are more. And I think that they're getting pretty close to encroaching on the area you're speaking of right now. So if you
Sure.
would just mention that, I would appreciate it.
I'd be happy to, and I would imagine he'd get it taken care of ASAP. And I was actually through there when the buses were coming through, and there was a lot of kids coming in and out of that subdivision
Exactly.
right now.
Very good. Thank you, Mark. And that's
You're
all I have,
welcome.
Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman Wilkie.
I have nothing, sir.
All righty, thank you. I'm going to briefly read some of the points on the news release about COVID vaccine. Mercy Hospital, Jefferson, Coventry, and Jefferson County Health Department have unified efforts to plan for the distribution of COVID-19 vaccine to county residents. Current planning includes developing and communication plan to inform residents when they are eligible to receive the vaccine and developing a registration system for quick and easy access to local immunization sites. Long-term care facilities throughout the county have received vaccine through the federal partnership with CVS and Walgreens. Coventry and Jefferson County Health Department have been approved as vaccinators and are awaiting the initial allocations of the vaccine. More information on who falls into each phase is available on the statewide website, covidvaccine.mo.gov/. So, I mean, it's coming and it's going to be regulated as to who gets it when. And we'll just have to wait for the information to come to us. And I'd like to also reiterate that the employees have been great during this COVID thing, keeping up with whatever we need to keep up with. I'd like to officially thank Greg for his dedication. I was able to attend tonight's meeting by convincing my wife that I should be here because Greg's here every meeting and that I should be too. So he also told me that if I were to get it and I'd have to go into quarantine, that she was going to send me to Greg's house.
Can we visit, if I go visit your family in Hawaii, does that mean we both get to go?
It's a fair trade-off.
Because you were going to be here.
Okay.
Real quick, sir, just to kind of dovetail on your remarks, you talk about, I appreciate the sentiment, but it's a team effort. And there's 90 plus of us all pulling the same way on the same end of the rope every day. And a familiar face, but with a new title, I wanted to make sure to point out to everyone that Barb Lowry, our Recreation and Tourism Director, is here this evening just to show her face. And she's eager to roll up the sleeves and get busy as soon as we have a desk for her to sit at. So,
Well, we're very proud of her. She's one of our own that's done well.
Welcome, Barb. Is there anything else? If not,
I just like to also thank Chief Kramer. I like your reports just like Chief Lewis. That's a nice report this time. That was great. I enjoyed it. I wish
Yes, sir.
Lewis's would be a little less, so many people breaking in, robbing, but it is what it is. But your report, I really enjoyed that.
That was last year's one call.
Well, I just like the way it's broke down. It just like Chief does all the time. Chief Lewis does. I mean, I love the way it was broken down. It really made it, nice to check it out, and it really detailed out. I liked it. Thank you.
Well, here's the thing, if I might say one more thing before we get a motion to adjourn. You know, we're not out of the woods yet, and we have to continue to maintain social distancing, wear our masks, and wash our hands a lot. We're going to be fighting this thing for another few months. Hopefully, by the time all the vaccines get out, we won't have to worry about it so much. But that's all I have, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Oh, Brian, you're stepping on my toes.
Mighty quicker, Mike.
Not so fast, partner.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries.
Farewell all.